Good evening, this is Gabriel Jackson, and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day, number 53, part 3, using Sefer Chinuch. A Mitzvah Day keeps your soul in its way. The obligation upon the court to judge cases involving damages caused by a pit, and once again, we will honor the holy idea of soldiers. They should be continuously successful in eradicating all the evil among them, and we should live in peace and come back to Jerusalem soon. Bizrat Hashem. Okay, the Chinuch now cites a case in which the digger might have been thought to be liable for damages resulting from the pit, but is actually exempt. We're just going back a drop to get the flow. Similarly, included in the laws of this mitzvah is the case of one who digs a pit within his own property, immediately adjacent to the public domain, where it is a hazard to the public, and he does not renounce ownership of his pit, and there is nothing at all interposing between the pit and the public domain, but it is a case such as the one mentioned in the Gemara of those who dig luishin, meaning foundations for their walls that will be erected adjacent to the public domain. The law in this case is that he is exempt from liability for damage caused by the excavation. It is for this reason that the digger is exempt. Even though it is impossible for the public to protect themselves from the hazard he has created, since it is so close to the public thoroughfare, we exempt him because it is impossible to establish a civilized society unless we allow each individual to prepare a foundation for his home. Also included is the law of one who uncovers a pit, even though he did not dig it, about whom the sages of blessed memory have said that he is liable for damages caused by the pit, because although the pit was dug by another, he is nonetheless deemed to be the owner of the hazard, since he is the one who exposed it. Also, the differences in law that apply with respect to a pit that had been covered and then become exposed through erosion of the cover or other natural means, which are dependent upon the relative weakness or strength of the original covering of the pit, the law of a pit that is owned by partners, as it pertains to the obligation to cover the pit, as well as the law of a pit that was dug by two individuals, one after the other, upon which of the two does liability for damage occur through the pit, right? Who's going to be responsible in that case? This mitzvah also includes the parameters of the obligation that an individual has with respect to distancing a hazard from the public or from a neighbor's property, so that harm should not come to people, for example, through his water storms or his glass shards. These laws and additional details of this mitzvah are elaborated in the 3rd and 5th chapters of Tractate Bava Kama, as well as Tractate Bava Basra. This mitzvah, meaning the obligation to judge cases of pit damages, applies to men, for the obligation to judge is incumbent upon them, and does not apply to women, for they do not serve as judges. However, women are nonetheless included among those covered by the law of restitution, whether they cause damage through a pit that they opened, or they suffer damage through another's pit. That, my friends, concludes this mitzvah. Thanks for listening. To sponsor future mitzvah, or to be part of our Chai Club, click the link below. I'll see you tomorrow.